Payovratam, by guidance of her husband. And they had just like how Sukadeva goes on, Pivata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. They did not have darshan. They have drank the juice of Srimad Bhagavatam. Like that, these personalities actually, they have drank the darshan of the Lord through their eyes. That's the kind of taste they had. When we see the form. But when they see the form, the qualities, the leelas, everything, they're able to perceive the Lord. That's how they're so much absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. So much they absorbed. So what is stopping us? We are also reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Gyan vi paliya hai. So we have, to a certain degree, we have the knowledge. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are aware. We have information, at least we have information. But why we are not able to drawn like that? Why we are not inflicted with such kind of emotions or feelings and attraction towards the Lord? Because we have so much of attraction towards the material forms, material qualities, material activities. We have information, but we don't have an access to that information. That's how we have jnana, but that jnana is not got translated into vijnana. What is that jnana? Jnana is that Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Everything is Krishna. But that's not translated into. That's what many times Prabhupada said, that how people hear, but their activities doesn't prove that they have absorbed that knowledge. They think their whole life is temporary. But their actions doesn't prove that they have that kind of realization that life is temporary, because they are trying to make everything permanent. Every action proves that they don't have this realization. So, the illusory energy is so powerful, so powerful, so powerful. Why it is so powerful? Because Krishna declared, it is my energy, mama maya, duratyaya. It is my energy. It is impractical, impossible for you to overcome this. That's how Prabhupada said in one of the purport in the 10th canto. He said that even pure devotees should fear the material association or material energy. Why pure devotees should fear? Pure devotees anyway is free from all this thing. No. Their fear of material energy, their fear of illusion energy proves that they have such kind of great conviction on Lord Krishna's statements. Hum bindas ghumte rehta hai. We keep moving around. We hear same slokas, we recite the same slokas. 10 times, 100 times we would have told to others. But we don't have such kind of convictions in us. That's how very freely moving around, very carelessly we are moving around in this world. See, that indicates we don't fear the Maya. That indicates that we don't have convictions on the statements of Krishna. We don't have convictions on the statements of Krishna means we have not fully realized or recognized Krishna's position. It's as simple as that. We say that yes, Krishna, Vasudevam Sarvamiti, everything is Krishna, but it doesn't reflect in our actions. Our actions are not become purified. Our actions are not become purified because our eating, sleeping, mating, defending is not purified. The activities performed through senses are not become purified. The only means to purify the senses or our actions of eating, sleeping, mating, defending is diverting those actions towards bhakti, engaging in the service of Krishna. So, the illusory energy is very, very powerful because this illusory energy is Krishna's energy. This material world is not created, this illusion is not created by us, it is created by the Lord. Citizens cannot create police, isn't it? The police is created by government. The police vyavastha, the police system is created by government. What the people create is a criminal desire. We don't have ability to create illusion. They created a criminal mentality, a criminal desire. Then comes police. Maya comes. So what is that criminal desire? That what we are capable or we are constantly expressing. The criminal desire is we wanted to be independent of Krishna. We wanted to be independent of Krishna. Independence of the living entity in this world is not the real independence. Even though we are trying to be. What is that independent? If you go to a showroom, so many things. If you go to such a huge showroom, nowadays mall and all, you go to such a huge this thing. But what is your independence? Maximum, you can purchase one watch. You have to see your purse, what is your... So that is your independence. Your independence is the pocket size or the bank balance size. So that is the kind of independence when Bhagavatam says, what is that? A person has independence like a cow has independence of the rope size. That is the... Yes, cow has a freedom to move around. What is the distance it can move around? The length of the rope. That much freedom is given. That much arrangement is given here. So, here what the Hastinapura Vasis, the ladies of Hastinapura is glorifying Krishna, is that the Krishna's transcendental form is perceived only by the great devotees who are completely free from the material consciousness. And how they become free from the material consciousness? By the dint of devotional service. So, only by developing such kind of affection, attraction or love towards Krishna is possible. By dint of devotional service. What is the devotional service? It is selfless. Selfless. Service means giving. Anything you are trying to give for the purpose of taking, that is not service. That is transaction, business. So that's how in this world you don't find such kind of devotional service. Devotional service means there has to be love. Only giving. You don't find that. If at all you wanted to find, if you don't find in this world, then how to know? No, Krishna invested such kind of this thing. A sample is invested in this world also between a mother and child. Mother and child. But child never remain child, Child will not remain child. Child will grow. That means that is also fades away. But he wanted to see such kind of this thing. The mother's anxiety to serve child. Mother's affection to serve the child. So, we can't become purified on our own. That is not possible. We have to depend on Krishna. We can clean our room, we can clean our car, we can clean our clothes, but we cannot clean our heart by our own means. That's not possible. We need help. And that's how Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. What is? Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sarvasya matparaha. Buddhi yogam upashritya. Buddhi yogam upashritya machitta. What is that? Machitta satatam bhava. Always machitta satatam. We always be situated in my consciousness. Machitta. And how that? Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sanvasya matparaha. You divert all the activities towards me. So Krishna says that for all the activity just depends on me. That is the first step of purification. Dependence. Doing everything only to Krishna is ultimate. Doing only to Krishna. But mat sarvasya, that everything, mat sannasya, everything just bring it to Krishna. So for purification we have to depend on Krishna. We have to pray fervently for this purification. We have to become very serious about it. Oh, this is what I want in my life. So that's how Prabhupada says a devotee is very resolute in his purpose. Prabhupada recollects that how what inspired him to be completely dedicated. That one purport by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur for the sloka of Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Ekehe Kurunanda, very resolute. Ekehe Kurunandana, very resolute, focus on Krishna conscious activity. So that kind of absorption is very, very, very important thing. Whatever activity we do, we should be able to relate with Krishna. We should be absorbed in that activity. In that context, one nice example is given of how that king is going through a procession in the city. But one man is, he was doing a woodcraft. That design he's working on, very tikshana, very, totally involved in that woodcraft. And a huge procession is going on, king is going on. But this person is so much absorbed in the carving, this thing, and the procession is gone. He's not even noticed. He's not even noticed. Actually, when we hear such kind of examples like analogies or stories, look like, it's very good to hear. But if you see many things, even in our own life, we can perceive like that. We can see. Avalokana, if we see within ourselves, within our, the activities, in our life activities, we can figure out such kind of things have happened in our life. I remember in the Gita counter in the Bangalore in the initial days, standing there and, absorbed and explaining, we will be very enthusiastic. Some or other we wanted to push the Bhagavad Gita. Some or other, we wanted to hand over the Gita to him, and page after page we'll explain Parampara, we explain how Prabhupada explained word to word, sloka, everything. So much absorbed in explaining the person. And my classmate was actually passing through in front of me. That is a very narrow space. The Bangalore Bhagavad Gita counter, that is a very narrow space. People, hardly 2-3 people can go together in that passage kind of. That man was just passing through in front of me. My classmate colleague. But he is so totally absorbed in explaining at that moment, not seen. So, like that, one should get totally absorbed. Always, Krishna says, you always be under my protection. We should, when we get totally absorbed our activities or our mind in our activities, when we absorb totally in Krishna, then Krishna will protect. Krishna protects the one who is sincere. That's why Srila Prabhupada says we have 2 diseases in our life. One is we don't fear, we are not afraid of Maya. That is very much evident. We are careless people. And second thing is we like to change the things, not ourselves. Pura dunya ko uddhar kar lenge. We like to change the whole world, but not ourselves. This is the biggest disease. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said? He said, what is that? Karo paropakar. Janma sarthaka karo, kari paropakar. Pehle janma sarthaka karo. First you change yourself, benefit yourself, purify yourself, become yourself. First you become devotee. Adam bolte no. Pehle pura dunya ko badal dunga, uske baad mujhko badal dunga. See how insensitive we are, how insincere we are. So we should really have that strong fear of this Maya and try hard to become pure. Pray to Krishna for purity. In this connection, I remember one story that how one king came to know that one very popular sadhu has come. In the outskirts of his capital city, one sadhu has arrived. So the king is very respectable to the sadhus, and he sent his minister, please go and bring him to the palace or to the courtyard. So this the minister went and with all due respects, they brought the sadhu to the the king's courtyard. And king came down from his Singhasana and paid dandavats and received him with all honors. And he asked him to sit on the asana. You're a sadhu, please sit. And please, I wanted to hear from you. So very respectable king. So, and then naturally what sadhu speaks? Sadhu speaks on the subject matter of God. So he spoke on the Bhagavad Gita on subject of the Bhagavatam, Puranas. Very nice, nice class he has given. So then says that the saint asked, is there any question? So then king asked, my desire to become free from Maya, but still I am so attached. I want to become a pure devotee, but still I am so attached. Why I am so attached? The desire is there to become pure devotee. Desire is there to become free from Maya, but I am so attached. Why? See, at the end of the class we say that, do you have any question or query? You ask the question, and instead of replying the answer to the question, just you walked up, get up from the asana, walked away. How do you feel? What is this? So what this saint is read, the moment question came, he got up from the Singhasan and went and at the edge, one pillar was there, he went and hugged the pillar, embraced the pillar, and started shouting, please leave me, please leave me, please leave me. The king is surprised, what is this? What I ask and what he is doing? And what is that he is trying to teach from that kind of action? I think so by now, all of you would have understood. So he said, you are the one who is holding. And you are the shouting that, no, please leave me, please leave me. Maya, please leave me. Maya is not embracing you. You are the one who is embracing Maya. You are the one who are so much attached. And you're saying, no, I wanted to give up. Maya is so strong. So, I think the biggest problem is that we know Maya is very powerful. We know that due to Maya we are in the clutches, but still we are saying, I wanted to become. No. Simply saying doesn't work. You know that you are the one who is holding onto the Maya, that means attachment. Unless you find a way to become free from that attachment. And that's what Krishna says in the Bhagavatam. Maya sakta manha partha. Yogam yunjan madashraya. Yogam yunjan. You engage in such kind of activity by which you develop asakti, attachment to me. You are already attached in this world, but unless you develop attachment towards me. And how to engage? To develop attachment in the mind, you are constantly thinking about the Lord. How to engage in such kind of activity? Madashraya. Only by being in my shelter. Only by taking my shelter. Because today you are in the shelter of Maya. So you have taken shelter of the Maya. Now you have to take shelter of Krishna. Madashraya. Simply by saying, no, I want to become devotee. No, you can become devotee. It is very much possible. Even in the Maya world, you can become devotee. But first is you have to express strong desire. Next is you have to act on the desire. But today, the desire itself is not pure. Desire itself is not pure. Why desire is not pure? Because your actions are not pure. Why actions are not pure? Your eating, sleeping, mating, defending, or the senses, that indriyas, senses, mind, intelligence, they are not purified. They are impure. And that's how all the senses, mind, intelligence, all these things has to be engaged in the service of the Lord. So the sage says to the king that you have to understand you are not this body. this body is actually dead. But it appears to be alive because soul is there, because you are there within the body. So that is the reality. Like a puppeteer, Katputli. Puppets, I think, beautiful costumes. But what is the value of that costume? The moment you remove the hand on the strings, everything collapses. So material body is like that. Material body is a high-tech costume. But this costume grows, this costume reproduces the costumes, and this costume becomes old. But the very high-tech costume, the purpose of having this high-tech costume is to realize we are not this costume. That is the purpose why this high intelligence is given, high ability is given, capacity is given. The soul is within. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. A self-realized person, self-realized soul knows that he is not doing anything, eating, sleeping, everything. The senses are interacting with its objects. We are not the senses, we are not the mind, we are not intelligence, but these things help us to understand the reality. These things helps. So that is the reason, in order to leave this material consciousness, in order to cleanse this material consciousness, one has to practice Krishna consciousness very seriously. That is said here, that a great devotees who are completely cleansed of material consciousness by dint of rigid devotional service. Rigid, very serious. That's how Prabhupada very famously uses this word very frequently. What is that? Serious and sincere. That seriousness, then what is that seriousness? Okay, now we repeatedly say that seriousness, one has to, in order to leave this world, in order to cleanse this material consciousness, one has to take Krishna consciousness or dint of devotional service very seriously, very rigidly. And seriousness means hearing very attentively, with rapt attention. In fact, in one of the Bhagavatam purports, Prabhupada writes that one hears nicely, one can see Krishna in the pages of every page of Srimad Bhagavatam. One has to hear with rapt attention. One cannot hear with rapt attention if one is not pure in the mind. We may give many excuses. Raat ko nind nahi tha, shortage of sleep, body is paining. So many excuses we give. But you see that Parikshit Maharaj, 7 days, no sleep, no eating, no drinking. Why? Rapt attention, hearing with rapt attention. You don't want to even miss one word. Oh, nectar is flowing. How can you wake up? How can I miss? So that's what it said. Our mind, we should understand all the excuses is coming from the mind. But the reality, oh Prabhu, we are suffering. Is it not the reality we are suffering? Yes. But the reality is we are not suffering. We are experiencing the body sufferings. Why we are experiencing? Because we identify with the body, that's how we are experiencing. No, but that is the reality, no. That itself is the reality of this world. Our intention is how to disidentify, how to come out of that identification. Because what is meant by identification? Identification called ego, designation. And what we have today is not ego, what we have is false ego. Falsely identifying. With every designation, with every identification comes duties and responsibilities. Moment to identify yourself as this body, then we have to care for this body. Shukadeva Goswami He was not identifying with the body. Rishabhadeva is not identifying with the body. That's how Sukadeva Goswami. He was just, no, he was not wearing any clothes, he was not taking bath, he neglected. He don't even treat it his mind. But aham mameti. So that is called self-realization. So we wanted to attain that kind of situation, that kind of position, realizing ourselves. So, but today mind is not allowing us. So we are not able to hear. Our rapt attention is not there because we are not pure in the mind. One cannot be pure in the mind if one is not pure in action. One cannot be pure in action if is not pure in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending the activities we perform through the senses. So one is able to act in this way, then we can see Krishna in every pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, how that is possible? That is possible by Mahat Sevaya Dwaram Sangi Sangam. Only by serving Mahat Sevaya, only by serving pure devotee. Only by following the instructions of pure devotee. Only by making your lifestyle as per the pure devotee's direction. By serving spiritual master. By serving spiritual master and Krishna, a door to spiritual world is open. By gratifying the senses, door to hell is open. Now both doors are open. One is this direction, another is both are opposite directions. Now it is up to us to choose whether you wanted to enter the door of hell or you wanted to enter the door of spiritual world. So by engaging, by serving spiritual master, we will be able to, understand the subject matter. Then what is that understanding? That Vasudevam Sarvamiti, not just knowledge, understanding that knowledge. Then we will be able to have an access. We will be able to have the control on the senses, we will be able to have control on the life. Life means the whole life habits. And that is the only way to purify our existence. Only way. Machitta matagata prana bodhayantam parasparam katanta chamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. We have to have satisfaction in our life. We will be able to attain satisfaction. Today, whatever activity we do, this absorption in the material things will lead to dissatisfaction. But whereas hearing Krishna Katha, it purifies, it gives satisfaction. Also, it is very enjoyable, relishable, ramanticha, relishable. So, that is possible only, when we live in the Sangha, association of devotees. Association of devotees, because association of devotees bring transformation in our life. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kai, Lavamata Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hai. There is a potential to attain perfection. Prabhupada gives that example of the thief going to pilgrimage along with other pilgrims. Even his heart got transformed, just being in the midst of the pilgrims. So likewise, the association of devotees, transform our heart. That is the first effect. Second thing is, it results in purification of false ego. Because we have to come to real ego. We are servant of Krishna, we are Atma. That self-centeredness to God-centeredness will come. So the devotee circle is very, very important. The association of devotees. That is the power of association. Power of association, one thing is our capacity increases. बोलता है संग का रंग बोलता है ना, जैसे संग वैसे रंग बोलता है. So it enhances, increases our capacity, and also taste increases. That's what Prabhupada cites in this purport, if you noticed very clearly, that by forceful, prolonged No, but the process, he said that by forceful this thing will not help you. Only by developing the taste, the spiritual taste. One of the line Prabhupada said, material conception is due to ignorance only. There is nothing beyond Vasudeva. The Vasudeva conception gradually develops in the heart of a learned after a prolonged acceleration of the receptive organs. Prolonged receptive organs. In the case of devotional service, this very same method is accepted from the very beginning. And by the grace of the Lord, all factual knowledge becomes revealed in the heart of a devotee due to dictation by the Lord from within. So once the taste comes, that access will come by engaging the devotional service. Krishna guides, Paramatma guides. He says that Dadami Buddhi Yuganto, I will give that intelligence. The another factor, Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, what is the sloka? Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya deinaha. Vishaya vinivartante, you will be able to give up. Vishaya vinivartante, you will be able to give up. By what means? Niraharasya deina. Niraharasya means by self-restriction. That's what yoga process. By prolonged, that's what the prolonged, what is that? By prolonged acceleration of the receptive organs. Niraharasya dehinha. Dehinha means the person, the Atma. By practicing niraharasya, by prolonged, no, I don't want to. Self-restrictions. Negative restrictions. I don't want to do this. Yes, that is also one of the means. But best is parandrishtva nivartate. Best is parandrishta nivartate. He will be able to give up by developing higher taste. So by performing devotional service in the association of devotees brings these two qualities. One is it enhances your capacity to perform the activity. Where in the material world, your ability keep coming down. There's famous example of the woodcutter going with axe to the forest, cutting the trees. First day he cut how many trees? 20 trees he cut. Second day he is able to cut only 18 trees. Third day he is able to cut only 14 trees. Then fourth day he is able to cut only 8 trees. Then finally on 6th day or 7th day only 1 tree. And he's same hard work. In fact, he is even increasing the time. First day he cut all 28 trees in just 8 hours. Next day he is 8 hours he is able to cut only. The third day he thought maybe I put more hard work this thing. What he did is he enhanced his time. 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours. In fact, people today slogging. In the world in days, people used to work hard only for 4 months or 5 months maximum. Rest of the day, aram se. But now, people are not, that means 4 months or 5 months in a year means 1/3 of the year, 12 months. No, people supposed to work 8 hours. That means one third of the day. But people are working double shift, triple shifts. They're extending 8 hours to 10 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours. But their ability to work is coming down. Due to Kala's force, due to Maya's force. Both are there. Maya brings the Kala. Maya brings the Maya's enforcement. Kala's force and Maya. Both are energies of the Lord. Both are potencies of the Lord. Both are. What Kala does? Where Prarabdha brings out. Like say for example, that particular element is there hidden inside, but in a due course of time that thing will come out. Kala is facilitating your anartha to come out or your prarabdha to come out. And Maya captures. Maya means gunas, captures. Say for example, till the teenage person doesn't get attraction to opposite sex. But the attraction to opposite sex is inherent. It is there. It's a prarabdha attraction. But Kala, in the due course of time, at the age of 12 years, 13 years, that comes out. That is the way Kala acts. Now, how Maya acts? Because you are not cultured, because you don't have samskara, and you keep glaring at everybody. A samskara person, what Prabhupada gives that, how the Vedic culture is, before he attained the teenage, already relationship is established. No? In the olden days, marriage used to happen very early, but family life is to start much later. But already they know the relationship. So the moment the person comes, that due to Kala's force, Prarabdha comes into picture, then what happens next? He meditates on that boy, or she meditates on that. She meditates on the boy, or he meditates on that girl, because the already relation is established. Meditation, that's all. Nothing is happening there. That is restraining or restricting the person to become uncivilized. The samskara protects. So, you to be aloof from the Maya, samskara. To be aloof from the Kala force is more powerful than Maya's force. Both are energies of the Lord. Both are, what Krishna says, Kalosmi, Kshaya, I am destroy everything. You see? So, this capacity keep decreasing by Kala. By force of Kala, capacity decreasing. By force of Maya, you are binded. Your freedom is restricted. But by performing devotional service in the associated devotees, your ability enhances. Your ability enhances. That's how you see the devotees, more advanced devotees, they sleep less, they eat less, but they're enthusiastic. They are bubbled with enthusiasm to serve the Lord. Capacity increases and the taste enhances. Taste increases. So quantity and quality both increases in devotional service. So only that is indication of that we are getting cleansed. That's why I said, one who are completely cleansed of material consciousness by dint of rigid devotional service and full control of life and senses. And that is the only way to purify existence, by dint of devotional service. We'll stop here. Any question or comments? Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki